Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. So this is going to be the start of a whole week of Disney related content that we're going to be calling Copper Does Disney, because I do a lot of travel videos that are always called like Copper Travels, and I didn't want to just do Copper Disney, so I thought Copper Does Disney is a good mix between the two. So I thought that I would do a week worth of various Disney related videos in the lead up to the Disney vlogs, which are going to be starting on Sunday. So this is obviously part one. There's hauls, there's packing videos, there's some really funny Disney related stuff in there. Like, it's just a whole host of everything. You're in a couple of them already, but we thought that the first part of this series should be Sam and I sat together talking about our Disney prep, because we lightly touched on it on the travel diaries that I did in September, well, in August for September, and we thought that we would do a whole video sat down, didn't we? So if you don't know who this is Sam. I will leave all his links down below. He is my Disney partner and me boyfriend.
Can he wait to go?
Can he wait?
No, I'm very, very excited. I can't wait. This has been like a dream trip for both of us.
Yeah.
So we know we can have the best time already. We have waited so long for this. I think we booked it back in
We booked it like April, May, didn't we?
So it's been a long time coming. I can't wait to go. So when we're filming this, it is actually, what, just over a week and a week away.
So we're filming this on Sunday the 8th. So we leave in 10 days when we're filming this, but when you see this, it's 2 days before we leave. So filming a little bit in advance. Like, you've been counting down the days and you're like, right, so this day in 2 weeks we're going to be here, and this day in a week we're going to be here.
I'm so excited.
We literally can't wait. So we thought we would talk to you a little bit about our like planning process, tips and tricks on things that we found to make it a bit cheaper, ways and reasons we've done certain things. So like, we both had a big discussion literally just before filming about the dining plan options and why we chose against them, how we got our flights cheaper, etc. So do you want to start off talking about flights, because that was like the first thing we really booked, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that we kind of started this whole process by, it was literally a really random, spontaneous decision for us. Like, we hadn't really planned it and been like, okay, we think we're gonna go to Disney this year, let's have a look. We literally sat there. I can't remember what we
were
watched.
Watching a film. I think it might have been like Pocahontas or Mulan or something like that.
Something.
And you sat there and you were like, I want to go to Disney. And you were like, right, let's look at flights. So we did, and we booked it 2 minutes later.
Like, we literally Googled it and we were like, hang on, this is really cheap. And I think for us, we found BA to be one of the cheapest for the days we actually ended up booking for. Obviously, there are a few other different like airfares, like you've got like Norwegian, Virgin fly the same route, and there's a load of other airlines that do it. But for what we wanted, including like luggage and stuff, we found it to be the best, and we always find them really reliable. So for us, we were like, okay, it's worth spending maybe an extra like 20 or 30 pounds more than kind of your budget airlines to get what we would like consider to be a better flight. Where we obviously work for ourselves from home, we're quite flexible with our dates.
Luckily,
yeah. So we can go midweek to, it's like kind of the end of the week, as opposed to like going weekend to weekend, which I know is always more expensive when you travel. So yeah, we literally put it in, plotted a few dates down, and we found that it was actually cheaper to go 9 nights instead of 10. We knocked the extra night off when we were looking at kind of what date to what date, and I think it was like a few,
it was like £400.
£400 cheaper, which is ridiculous when you think it's just one night. So our flight times are really good as well. So we take off, I think it's 1:25 here in London, and then we get there, I think it's about
like 5:30 or something,
5:30, 6,
yeah,
like air time. So we're not going to go to the parks that day. We're going to kind of just explore, but we'll get onto that in a bit. And then our return flight is just after 7 PM, I think. So it is a night flight. We'll fly most of the night, and then we get back here the following morning. So we'll still get a whole day, well, majority of a day in the park that day as well. So we haven't really missed out.
We're away from the 18th to the 27th, but we technically leave on the 26th. But we still get the whole day, because basically the last 3 days we're at Universal, and Universal shuts at 5 during September and October for the Halloween nights. So we would have to leave the park about 4 anyway because of the flight. So it kind of worked out that we still got a full day, didn't it?
Yeah, so all we're missing is like an hour or 2 on that final day. So for us, like, we haven't lost anything. We've saved a lot of money.
And when it comes to like price-wise, our flights were £340 each. We did pay a bit extra because we decided to upgrade to premium economy just for legroom and space and that kind of thing, because where Sam is really tall and where I'm obviously smaller, Sam likes to sit by the window or in the aisle, which means I'm always in the middle, and 9 times out of 10 I end up with a big guy on the other side of me, and I literally end up spending the whole flight like this, and I get really claustrophobic. I like to get up and walk around so my legs don't hurt. So it made sense just to go on premium economy, we get a 2-seater, and then on the way back we're flying economy, but we're basically on like an emergency exit row, so we can get up and down when we please, and you've got leg room.
It's a 10.5-hour flight, so for us, like,
yeah,
that is such, well, for anyone that is such a long time. And it was £200 to upgrade for one way to premium economy. So with that, you kind of, you've got your 2 seats next to each other instead of 3, so your seats are wider, you get extra leg room, and there's a few other perks as well whilst you're kind of on board.
Okay, moving on. So we actually decided, after looking, I mean, we booked the flight quite quickly, but we did have a little look at the same time time at the package deals. So we looked at like flight and hotel combined, the whole Disney package where you get your tickets and stuff as well. And for us, it just worked out to be a lot cheaper to book everything separately. So we decided that we weren't gonna skip on staying in a resort, because for us, like, it was so important to get the extra magic hours, to be in a Disney hotel. Like, we want to be on site. Like, I don't really feel comfortable driving in America, and I just think it's like a lot nicer of an experience. So we booked fairly last minute in terms of Disney. Like, Disney's quite a big trip, which we mentioned in the other video. Like, it's a trip that you do spend a long time planning. You book it really far in advance. So when we came to booking the hotel, it did become a little bit complicated, because basically everything was taken. Like, the only room was a family suite in the Animal Kingdom, which was like £12,000, or All Star Sports, which is £700 for the entire 9 days that we're there. So we decided that we didn't really need to be in a fancy hotel. Like, we're not really going to be in the hotel at all. So we thought we'd book the cheaper hotel, spend £700 between us, which means that overall it's still only like £600 each, and be in a resort. So we still got the magic hours, we still got all those perks, and it just meant that we were a little bit closer to the action, I guess. Like,
yeah,
it's not a bad hotel, it's just very much like the budget Disney one, which, to be honest, it's still just as nice. Like, it's just not overly fancy and honeymoony.
No. And I think, like, for us, where every trip we've ever been on together, we're very much like, get up early, go out, do everything, come back late at night and sleep. If you do want to kind of stay somewhere a bit nicer, I know there are other options, but for us, like, when it came to booking, like Jess said, it wasn't an option. So it was either, yeah, have that kind of your budget option, or spend ridiculous amounts of money, or something else, which we don't really care about. Yeah,
and then also, for complete transparency, we are actually spending the last 3 nights of our trip staying at the Adventura Hotel in Universal, and it is gifted. We're not paying for the stay there, but we kind of thought it would be a great idea to switch parks. We did cut the Disney stay slightly shorter, but we thought it would be nice to stay nearer to a Universal resort, just so that we're kind of getting the best of both without having to keep coming all the way back to Disney each day. And Universal also kindly gifted us our tickets, as did Disney, for every day in the parks, which we're going to get into in a minute. But first, I want to talk about dining plan, because we had a really big discussion about what to do regarding food, because everyone that I'd spoken to had said, go for a dining plan, get a dining plan, it's the best thing you can do, it means you don't have to spend money in the park. Dining plan, dining plan, dining plan. Like, everyone just gets a dining plan. Even vloggers we watch, everyone gets a dining plan, but we did not. Sam, why did we not?
I've always found it like a mixed opinion. Like, my friends who have been a lot, and like there's people online, they're always very much like, for your first time, it's not worth it, because I thought there's so much there to try. And we've looked at so many of the different restaurants. Like, at Disney, the restaurants are kind of split into different categories. You've got like counter service, which is literally like your quick service meals that be kind of not necessarily fast food in terms of McDonald's and burgers, that type of thing, which obviously they do have, but it's kind of a lot more, you go up and order, you get given the food, and then you seat yourself. And they also have table service restaurants, so these are where there are waiters, it's kind of a la carte, you pick off the menu and you get waited on, so the service comes to your table. And we looked at the menus and we're kind of pricing up a few different things, and we're not necessarily massive eaters when it comes to like lunches.
Yeah, we don't eat 3 big meals a day, so it just seemed really stupid to essentially pay to have that when we don't need that.
And that's the thing, people are like, you don't spend the money, it's there. And we've seen so many different snacks and things we want to try that you don't necessarily get on the dining plan.
We just thought, like, for example, some days, like, we'll get up and we'll have a coffee for breakfast, and then we'll maybe have like a snack for lunch, and then have a big dinner, or a big lunch and then a small dinner. Like, we don't really eat like 3 big meals, so it just made a lot more sense. And obviously, like, pretzels and stuff are huge, so if we go and have a pretzel for lunch between us, that's going to be more than enough. Like, we don't eat that much. But to summarize kind of what we've been saying, so we booked everything separately, so that was like our #1 thing that I would say that has made it cheaper for us. We obviously focused on the fact that we didn't necessarily need a hotel that was really fancy, we just wanted one that was a bit budget, so we booked our flights, our hotel separately, and we did not opt for a dining plan. So everything was kind of booked based on what was cheapest, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
kind of.
But also what was most convenient for us.
So I guess we should talk through what we're doing each day, kind of roughly. I think you know more than I do in terms of what day we're doing what, but we made like a rough plan of what day we're going to what park, and we took into account which parks we get the extra magic hours on which day. So like, say for example, Magic Kingdom on the Monday, we knew we got an extra 2 hours in the morning, we would make sure that's the day we go to Magic Kingdom, and etc, etc. We decided that when we first get there, we're gonna kind of do what everyone else has done on travel day vlogs, which is get there, get into the hotel, shower and stuff, and then just go to Disney Springs for the evening, have some dinner, mooch around the shops, maybe buy some Disney ears or something, and just spend our first evening like chilled, because I think when you've had a really long flight throughout the day, you end up getting a lot more tired in the evening, so we just wanted a chilled first one.
But also, it's not worth wasting a Disney park ticket, a day ticket, when you're literally gonna be there for a few hours, and then the next day we will start our first like Disney park experience. So yeah, we are going to the Magic Kingdom, and Disney with the park tickets did kindly gift us a number of additional fast passes. So with the Disney experience experience app, everyone gets 3 fast pass plus per day. So these are always bookable in one park, so you can't book like one in one park, one in another. You have to book them all 3 in one go, but then after that you can, once you've used your 3 for the day, you do get another one and you can keep using that. So once you've finished that fast pass, you can just book another in the app straight away. So we kind of went on that, didn't we?
I mainly left this down to Sam because none of this makes any sense to me. So I let Sam just tally out the fast passes and just kind of gave my input on what I wanted to go on.
So we are spending the first day in Magic Kingdom and we have booked, I think we've got Big Thunder Mountain, we've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and we have, I think maybe Pirates of the Caribbean. But
we kind of went based on obviously what both of us want to do, and then we know that we have the additional ones to use kind of freely. Booking breakfast and stuff, all I'm going to say is trying to find like character breakfasts and lunch and dinner reservations and stuff has been quite challenging. We only managed to get one. What was the one we got before the one we ended up booking?
We weren't really fussed about making that many reservations. Obviously Be Our Guest, which is a massive
we really wanted to do.
We couldn't get when we first came around to booking, and you can book 180 days in advance. Basically I just kept refreshing the app every few days, seeing if there'd been a cancellation, and we luckily got one. So one of the first things we are going to do on our first day is have breakfast at Be Our Guest, which I'm really looking forward to.
It's going to be a good like introduction into Disney, I think.
And then day 2 we are going to Epcot.
And while we are in Disney is the Food and Wine Festival, so I think we're going to try and kind of take part in that slightly and just try out the foods and the wines and that kind of thing, because I think Epcot, from what I remember and from what I've seen, is there's not really a whole lot there. So I think it's going to be really nice that we've got that kind of added bit to do, so it means that the whole day is filled up and then we can watch the show in the evening and stuff and have a little walk around the world, see everything. Obviously the Frozen ride is there, which is really exciting. Day 3, we said we might go to Animal Kingdom, again based off of the Magic Hours and Fast Passes and that kind of thing. So we thought that would be the perfect third day. I'm really excited for Animal Kingdom. I think that's one that I'm
the one that I'm looking forward to the most, and it's always been the park which I really wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Like there's some really cool rides there, like Everest, you've got the whole new Avatar bit there, so I'm really looking forward to that, because obviously Paris is very similar to Magic Kingdom. You've done that before, but there's so many new things at Animal Kingdom that obviously I've never done. You haven't done some of the bits there, and I feel that's the park that everyone always says that they come away saying they love.
And then obviously day 4 will be Hollywood Studios, which is where Galaxy's Edge has just opened, the new Star Wars land, and basically that is kind of everything like Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster. Tower of Terror is one of my favourite rides of all time, and I have really fun memories there with my family when I was younger, so I cannot wait to go back there. But it's going to be really good fun. And then we basically left our 5th day at Disney kind of free to explore, so we have a rough idea of wanting to go to a water park and then the theme park in the afternoon, but we're kind of playing it by ear. And then like we said, there is then 3 days that we are going to be in Universal. So we kind of wanted to play Universal a bit by ear again as well, just because obviously it is a really big park. There's a lot of new things there, like Hagrid's ride, etc., which isn't necessarily like new, like Star Wars is new, where it's only been open a couple of weeks, but it's very new in terms of like it's not been there very long. So we thought that first day we would go to Universal Studios and see that kind of side of things, because that's obviously the initial part. That's where all the really good rides and stuff are. There's a lot going on there. And then the second day we're going to head over to Island of Adventures, which is another obviously really great park. You can hop between the two if you are a massive Harry Potter fan like we are. You can actually get the Hogwarts Express between parks, because Harry Potter World is split into the 2 parks, and I literally can't wait to go there.
We haven't looked into Universal as much as we have Disney, so I thought there's going to be so many surprises there that we're really looking forward to. And then the 3rd day, which will be our flight home day as well, we are going to play that by ear. So obviously they've got their water park Volcano Bay as well, so we may spend kind of the morning there,
might go back to a different park,
and then head back to one of the parks to ride a few more rides before getting our flight back to London.
And yeah, that's our Disney trip.
I actually think that's
summarised in like 20 minutes.
But yeah, I think it should be 20 minutes. I think that's everything.
Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of our trip.
Yeah, there is a lot of planning that goes into it if you want to get the most out of the trip, because there is so much to do. So I thought if you are looking at booking, just give yourself time to kind of read up on things, watch a few other videos, and also just have time to regularly check the app. I feel for us, like, that app has been a lifesaver.
Oh my god, so much so.
Like, we've been able to look at like show times, restaurant reservation times, ride times.
Yeah.
It's been like a little Disney Bible, which we have had everything together.
But also the one thing I found really good about the app is when it knows the dates that you're there, because obviously you put in your ticket information and stuff, it it also gives you like little updates and stuff about the time that you're there. So if there's scheduled works on a ride or anything like that, it pings it up in the app so you can see exactly what's going on. So say like a certain restaurant was closed for 2 days during your trip, it tells you. Or if a ride is down for maintenance, it tells you. Like everything comes up on there, so you're completely prepared when you go, and you're not like in for a surprise when you're like, damn it, Thunder Mountain's down, really wanted to go on that. Like, you know in advance, so there's no letdowns all day. That is basically our Disney trip. I literally cannot wait. I think it's going to be the best trip ever, with the best person I could possibly go with.
Obviously.
And I am so excited. Like,
I'm really looking forward to it, so I just want to go now. Like, I'm ready to go.
You literally every single day you're like, Disney, 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 Disney.
I want to go now.
But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope you enjoyed seeing Sam again, because he's in quite a lot of videos.
Everyone enjoys seeing me.
But you never really like sit down and speak with me in videos.
You never let me. This is the first time she's actually well, second time you've let me sit down and talk.
And you're also in 1 in 2 days time, which is coming up, which is a Disney Impressions, and it's absolutely hilarious with you and your sister.
Me and my sister.
I edited it earlier. I was like howling laughing earlier, and it's really hurt my throat. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. Say
Cool.
bye.
I'm gonna say goodbye.